it's a time that we can recognize people who are starting off in their careers and people who are already established in their careers. And I want to give a special thanks. I said it before this weekend, but I want to give a special thanks to the over 400 professional authors who read your works, for those of you who are nominated, and gave the critiques and officially awarded these prizes. So, congratulations. Thank you. And we are, for the first time, broadcasting the award ceremony live, so hello everyone at home. So, because we like to just get things going, let's get things going. We're going to run through the program really quickly tonight because we know award shows run long, and we don't want to do that. So follow along the bouncing ball in your program in front of you, and please welcome the winner of the 2023 Tour National Silver Falchion Award for Best Action Adventure, Angela Greenman, the Child Riddler.
This is probably the shortest, and I'm totally speechless. But thank you to my Stafford and Killer Nashville. Thank you to the judges. Thank you to everyone for this amazing few days. I've met some wonderful people, and I've gained so much knowledge, and I'm going to leave here a much better writer, and I'm humbled and honored.
The Silver Falchion Award, we just gave to Angela, is for the best book by the judges from the entries that were submitted for the best book of 2022. The Claymore Award, which we're about to award the first one, is for the best first unpublished 50 pages at the time of submission to the awards program. And I love it because it's opened up many, many doors in the industry for people to get publishing contracts. And I'm just curious, how many of you have been asked for a manuscript this weekend? That's incredible. That's incredible. And that's what we're all about, making sure, supporting writers, making sure you guys get published, and those that are published, making sure you guys get recognized. So the 2023 Killer Nashville Claymore Award for Best Unpublished First 50 Pages at the time of submission for Best Action Adventure goes to Les Edgerton, Francois Auberge, the victor.
Unaccustomed as I am to public speaking, you're probably all wondering why I invited you here tonight. This is why. Is that it?
For the Best Silver Falchion Award for Best Comedy, J.B. Manning, Richard the Mighty.
I am Godsmack. I've been coming to Killer Nashville since 2014. My novelist wife's leading me. And I've loved the environment. It's so creative and welcoming and helpful to learn things about how to write your novel. And I just couldn't be happier. I'll keep it that short. Thank you.
The 2023 2023 Killer Nashville Claymore Award for Best Comedy goes to Elaine K. Marsh, King of the Buckaroo Boys. And Elaine is not here tonight, so Elaine, if you're watching, we'll send it to you. Yeah, it's always great when people are here, but the rule is if you know attendance required in order to win. And so thank you guys for showing up. I appreciate it. And I want to give a special thanks, especially for people showing up, to our agents this weekend. And as I call your name, would you mind just standing up where you are? And my daughter Adeline and Isabel Canning helping us out up here. They're going to bring you something just to help remember us by, okay? Special thanks to Alex Brown, John DeDavis. Stay standing, please, if you don't mind. Alex, stay standing if you don't mind. John. Renee Fountain. Kathleen Fox. Steve Hudson. Dean Chrysler. Cecilia C.C. Lyra. Ken Sherman. And Gretchen Stelter. I thank you all for coming, and I thank you all for being willing to look at new people, to look at new voices, and to look at these submissions that are coming in. Thank you for changing lives. We appreciate you so much. In 2006, I had an epiphany one day over sake. And I thought, I'm going to make a writer's conference. And I'm going to make it where people can learn about the industry and get published, and we can basically throw a party. And so I called several friends of mine and said, I'm throwing a party in Nashville. This was 2006. And we had the first year, Carol Higgins Clark showed up, a bunch of other people showed up, and we had a wonderful, wonderful time, and we decided that we were going to do it again. And here we are in our 18th year. The party has grown a little bit, but it's still the same party, I hope. And back in 2006, we were having it. A young lady walked into my life at Beth Terrell, and she said, I would like to help you with this. And I said, what's your vision? And she said, I don't know, what's your vision? And this was the vision. And she's been with me since 2006, working behind the scenes and helping to create Killer Nashville. And I owe her everything. Jaden Terrell, would you welcome her to the front?
From the time I was a little girl, to the time I knew what a story was, I wanted to write one. And from the time I knew what a writer was, I wanted to be one. And I bet a lot of you guys know that. I thought I was going to be fantastic. And I was going to write pages and pages of tall loops and small loops because that's what cursive writing looked like to me. And I would fill up whole tablets and I thought I was writing stories, even though no one could read them but me. And I knew kind of how this was going to go. I was going to read a lot, I was going to study a lot, I was going to go to workshops, I was going to read about the craft, I was going to get good, I was going to get a lot of rejections, because I read all those books. And I was going to get an agent, I was going to get published, and then I would make a small fortune. And I would have millions or at least hundreds of thousands of adoring fans. And some of those things happened, and some of those things did not happen. And I bet you can kind of guess which ones are which. But I kept meeting all these wonderful writers, and I met a lot of writers who were kind of disillusioned and sad and despondent, and they said, I got another rejection. I got another bad review. I can't get reviews. I can't get readers. What if it never happens for me? Should I just give up? Is it worth it? And maybe you've been there. Maybe we've all been there. And sometimes you wonder about it, but deep down, we all know that there is nothing better, nothing more wonderful, and nothing more magical than being a writer. Because this speech is not as short as you think it is. And why is it all worth it? Because we get the movies in our mind. I had a client once when I was working in education, she said, I don't think you could be bored in a round room with white walls. And she was right, because I have these movies in my mind, and you guys have them too. And I have imaginary friends who are not really imaginary. It's just that other people can't see them. And we have a chance to meet beautiful people like you guys, and be a part of a group like this and a family like this, and have these relationships with beautiful, wonderful writers. And we get respected in ways we don't know. Sometimes you think nobody knows what you do or recognizes that being a writer is kind of special. And I played a game with some friends once. It's called Abstracts. And it's where they'll go, pick a kind of chair you would be. Or what kind of chair do you think your friends would think you are? What kind of bird do you think your friends would think you are? And I'd be like, oh, I'm a little friendly dog. Or I'm a little kind of brown skirt. I'm a regular little kind of big chair, fluffy. And they would be like, you're a peacock because you write stories. And there were all these exotic things that I'd never thought anybody who actually knew me would ever think that about me. But they do, and they do about you as well. We have a chance to touch the lives of strangers. You know, a writer friend who said, someone came up to her, she wrote cozy, she kind of demeaned it sometimes. She's like, I just write little cozy stories. There's nothing wrong with cozy stories or thrillers or whatever you write. Because someone came up to her and said, you know, my mom has been in the hospital with cancer, and I could not have gotten through if I had not had her books to make me laugh and smile. There were people, I got a letter from someone or a message from someone from Wisconsin who had read one of my books and loved it. And I'm like, how did somebody in Wisconsin read my books that I never heard of? But you touch lives, and you never even know how many lives you're going to touch. And we have a chance to grow. And writing helps us explore who we are and become better people and grow. And we never master it because there's always something else to learn. And that is true of all the creative arts. It's a blessing to be able to do that and have that. So when I think about the modest fortune, the silver and gold, we all kind of think about, I think about Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, and Rudolph and Herbie and Yukon Cornelius sing that song about fame and fortune. And it sounds really great, but they always found out at the end that the real fame and fortune, the silver and gold, is the gold that we make with our words. It's the gold that we make of our lives because of our writers and the movies in our minds. It's the gold that we give to other people through those words. And I know that we are all changing ourselves. We're changing the people we touch, and we're changing, or at least shining a light in our little corner of the world, or maybe even a whole lot of it. So, welcome to the magical world of being a writer.
And the 2023 Kilmer Nashville Silver Falchion Award for Best Cozy goes to Lori Robbins.
Clay, everyone here, the writing community, and I guess most of all my sisters in crime, who have been an unending support and inspiration to me. Thank you so much.
The Claymore Award for Best Unpublished Manuscript for Best Cozy is Lucinda Gerlitz, The Chess Player.
I want to thank Clay and the judges and the teachers who have given me their time and their knowledge and their experience and helped me learn to do this.
Lynn, when was the Magnolia Award founded? They're asking each other. Let me introduce Lynn Chandler Willis, who is going to present the annual SEMWA Southeastern Mystery Writers of America Magnolia Award this year. Would you help me welcome her?
Hi there. Okay, the Magnolia Award is given to the member of volunteer with the Southeast Mystery Writers of America, the chapter, otherwise known as SEMWA. It's given to someone who has just shown extraordinary dedication to the organization. They've done everything that's been asked of them, plus above and beyond. Clay himself is a recipient of one. It goes on and on. It's really a prestigious award and means a lot to our chapter. This year, it goes to Robert Mangio. Robert lives in Franklin, Tennessee with his wife and his cat. His short fiction has appeared in Alfred Hitchcock Mystery Magazine, The Forge Literary Magazine, Lowe's Croft Chronicle Mystery Magazine, MWA's Ice Cold, and the Anthony Winnie Murder Under the Oaks. He is a 3-time Derringer Award finalist and once as a Nashville Claymore finalist. When not writing, he blogs for Sleuth Slayers and teaches short fiction workshops. When not doing any of these things, he's usually found wandering around the snack food aisles worldwide. And if you follow him on Facebook, you'll see the pictures. Yeah. Bob has attended Nashville every year since 2010. He's a regular panelist, prefers moderating, and has done special Nashville short fiction workshops for several years now. Bob served as SEMWA's vice president for 2 years and then as treasurer. His last year as treasurer coincided with my first term as president. I don't know if there's anything in common there, but I do know it was a full-time job answering this mathematically challenged president's budget question. Bob, I will be forever grateful for all the emails that you answered. And this is a beautiful little pin. It is a magnolia leaf, and it is inscribed with 2003. And then we have this. Pretty, yeah. of Outstanding Contributions to Seymour, Robert Mangio is awarded the 2023 Seymour Magnolia Award. Bob, thank you for everything.
It was definitely not you. It was other stuff going on in my mind. So anyway, thank you. I'm sorry I'm screwing this up really badly. My mom passed away about, it gets better, I promise, passed away about 6 months ago. One of the things that she had taught us was, you're not just living in a community, you're part of it. You need to participate in it and leave it better than you found it. And I've always tried to live my life that way. When I got into writing, I wanted to get involved in where are my peers going, what are the professional associations, and how can I help? And I'm just incredibly grateful to some people at that back table, to Deborah and to Lynn and to Beth, who was up here before, who really got me into this community. They've just been wonderful. This whole conference has been wonderful. MWA actually has a special place in my heart. So it's sort of deeply honored to get this award. The very first crime story I sold was to somehow got in that ice cold anthology from MWA. That's a really hard anthology to get into. Don't ask me how, it just did. It just happened. And they sent around a invitation to, famous people were showing up, and you're welcome to come contributor to this launch party with mysterious folks in New York City. And I dropped everything in one because talk about once in a lifetime stuff. There you go. There was one of them. So MWA means a lot to me. Killer Nashville means just a ton to me. I have been here every year. It's sort of my August home. And hopefully for those of you guys who are, this is your first year, hopefully it's your home now too. So thank you very much.
2023 Killer Nashville Silver Falchion Award for Best Historical goes to Carmen Amato.
Thank you, Clay. Thank you to the many judges who read and I guess liked this book. You might not have noticed, but a couple of years ago, there was a depressing event that happened called a pandemic. And when that happened, I needed to take a break from writing Cartels and Corruption and wanted to do something that was a little more uplifting. So I started writing stories based on what my grandfather used to tell. He was a deputy sheriff in Oneida County, New York during Prohibition. And while this was good for me to keep my mind off of depressing things, it was even better for my mother, who was in lockdown in assisted living. So every night I could talk to her and try and pull stories out of her and her memories of growing up in Rome, New York. And as time went on and the pandemic lifted, unfortunately, my mother's dementia got much worse. So while she's no longer able to read or recognize me, and she doesn't know that these books are out or that this one has won an award, I can't share it with her, so you all are substituting for my mom tonight. Thank you very much.
The 2023 Killer Nashville Claymore Award for Best Historical goes to Catherine Seaman, dead uptown in downtown.
I am entirely unprepared to do the speech because I was not expecting expecting this, but thank you so much to the judges, to my sisters in crime, and looking forward to what's to come. Thank you.
Now it's time for the award for Best Attending Author. And I want to give a special thanks before I do that to my daughter Adeline, who is helping with the awards, my wife Jacqueline, who is helping with the awards, and Isabel, who is also helping with the awards. And then Rob Thomas, who is helping bring us live into your home. The winner of the 2023 Kilmer Nashville Best Attending Author, well, you know this person by her name. I just call her the judge.
I'm almost speechless. I've never been without words. But thank you. It's been a very hard year for a lot of personal reasons. My writing has not been going. I haven't written because of it. And to get this from all of you, which means you voted for me, is such a vote of confidence, and it makes me so happy. So thank you, Kilmer Nashville, but more importantly, thank you, everybody in this room. I appreciate it.
Every year we try to bring in some guests of honor to help inspire us, and this year one of our guests of honor was Catherine Lasky, and we asked her to come. She graciously did last year just as a visitor, and this year as a guest of honor, and my son grew up reading her literature, as did probably many of your children, as well as us adults who read her mysteries. So can you give a big round of applause to Catherine? Thank you for coming. I asked Catherine to come up and say a few words, but she said, Lord, you put me on so many panels this weekend. The 2023 Kilmer Nashville Silver Falchion Award for Best Investigator goes to the warden himself, James Latold Dead Rock.
Wow. This is really unexpected. Thank you so much. I really appreciate this. I have to thank Level Best Books, my editor, Sean Riley Simmons. Never let anyone tell you no when it comes to your creative efforts. Never give up. But most of all, I need to thank Bruce Coffin for not having the book eligible in this category this year. Thank you very much.
2023 Kilmer Nashville Claymore Award for Best Investigator goes to Kayla Brown. Chase Harlan.
Thank you, everyone. Everyone who read this and everyone who's been here and made me a better writer. Thank you, my mother-in-law who's watching this from home and encouraged me to come. And thank you to my husband who insisted we come to the award ceremony tonight. Thank you.
The 2023 Kilmer Nashville Silver Falchion Award for Best Juvenile YA goes to Elizabeth Bunce in Myrtle Peril, a Myrtle Hardcastle Mystery. congratulations to you. The 2023 Killer Nashville Claymore Award for Best Juvenile YA goes to Angie Android, the Stonecrafters.
Oh my goodness, thank you so much. I'm excited. I'm gonna wear this every day. I promise. Y'all, this has been my first conference here, and everyone's been so welcoming. It's been really great. Thank you.
The 2023 Killer Nashville Silver Falchion Award for Best Literary goes to Bruce Holzinger, The Displacements. And Bruce is not here. Bruce, I hope you're watching at home. Congratulations to you. The 2023 Killer Nashville Claymore Award for Best Literary for the best first 50 unpublished pages goes to Jennifer and Jessica Slee, Perfect Fit.
Thank you so much. Thank you to Clay, thank you to the judges and the readers and everyone for supporting writers. We are here because you were there, so from the bottom of our hearts, thank you for being there. Thank you.
Baron Berger has been a friend of mine for, I don't know how long. He seems like he's just been around forever for me. And he has been a really good supporter of Killer Nashville, and also a very, very, very good supporter of me, and a confidant, and somebody that I can always talk to when I need to talk. And I just want to ask you to welcome, please, Baron R. Berger, who's going to talk about believing in yourself.
Well, I'm Baron Berger, and I want to say again, welcome to Killer Nashville Awards Dinner 2023. Special welcome to the people who are here for the very first time. And by now that we've crossed the halfway point in this Killer Nashville, now you understand why this is known as the premier writers conference in the country. So welcome. I was asked to say a few words about believing in yourself, but we all know that without doing the work and without the perseverance of finishing the work, all the belief in yourself doesn't mean much of anything. And what we really need to do, because we work in isolation so much, and we work inside of our own heads so much, is we need to focus on getting that work finished and getting it done. And when it is, the first thing we do is we entrust that to our most trusted first readers, right? And those people have to have very special qualities. They need to be honest, they need to be truthful, they need to have opinions that we value, and they need to deliver those opinions with compassion. And that's the tribe that you want to put around yourself as you build your career. And those are the people you're going to find right here, right where I found my tribe. I have a little story that I like to tell about that, and a few of you have heard it, most of you have not. It's the experiment of the 5 monkeys. And this is actually an experiment that was done in a university several years ago. And I want you to imagine a room, an enclosed room. It's got glass on one wall, and behind the glass are the people in the white lab coats and the clipboards. And on the inside, we've got 5 chimpanzees. And in the corner, we have a little set of stairs, 4 or 5 stairs, and hanging from the ceiling is a banana hanging from a string. Well, those chimpanzees are in there for just a couple of minutes, and one of them says, I want to get after that banana. And he gets over there and he climbs those stairs, gets to the top and starts to reach for it. And the minute he does start to reach for it, the remaining 4 monkeys are doused with ice water. And that first monkey comes down off the stairs and comes over and joins his compatriots, and they kind of sit there for a minute. And a second monkey brings the courage together to go after that banana. And he kind of crosses the room carefully and begins to climb the stairs and gets to the top, begins to reach for the banana. Same outcome. The remaining 4 monkeys are doused with ice water. Well, it takes a little longer this time, but a third monkey gives it a try, and he slowly crosses the room. And he doesn't make it to the stairs because the other 4 monkeys mob him before he can even get there. And no water happens. Now at this point, the scientists take one of those wet monkeys and replace him with a brand new monkey. And they bring him in. And the brand new monkey takes a minute, looks at that banana, heads for the stairs, and those 4 monkeys are on it before he can get halfway across the room. They take all the water out of that room, they replace a third of the original monkeys with a new one, and that new original monkey tries the same thing, and now the 4 monkeys go after him and prevent him from getting to the stairs and get very violent and aggressive about it, including the monkey that was formerly the new monkey. And he doesn't even know why he's participating. They replace the next one, and then the 4th one, and the 5th one, and they find that there are 5 monkeys in there that have never been doused with water, never attempt to go to the stairs or go for that banana, and none of them know why. So what does that mean, Eric? It is too easy for us to allow this is the way we always do it to dictate what we do. We are all part of a creative endeavor. And we are looking for those boundaries, and we're looking to exceed the boundaries. This is our job. This is what we do as creative people. And we can't accept this is how we do it. This is how it's always done. These are the tropes that you must follow. And I have to say, because of the people that I've met here at Killer Nashville, my tribe, they encourage me to reach for those stairs and to reach for that prize. And when I submit my book that I've been working in isolation on for months and months, and I hand it to them, I know that it's going to be evaluated with circumspection, with wisdom, with kindness, with opinions that I value, and that those messages are going to be delivered to me with compassion. And again, I met every one of these people at Killer Nashville, and you are surrounded by more talent and more industry experience than you could possibly wish for. So I hope, especially all the first-year people, you really take advantage of this and build your tribe, build your community, and treat one another with compassion and respect. I want to congratulate all the nominees. You're already winners. All of you are already winners. All of you are award-nominated authors, and nobody can take that away from you. Some of you have already won, some of you are yet to win, and you will be award-winning authors, and no one can take that away from you either. I want to congratulate the winners. I want to congratulate all the nominees. And I want to leave you with one thing before I step away. One word of advice that is true for all of us, and that is this. Never, ever let anyone who hasn't tell you that you can't. Congratulations to the nominees. Have a great night, everybody.
Our show is going to the dogs. The 2023 Killer Nashville Silver Falcon Award for Best Mainstream Commercial goes to Catherine Faulkner with Greenwich Park. And Catherine's not here. Congratulations, Catherine. The 2023 Killer Nashville Claymore Award for Best Mainstream Commercial goes to Rodney Walter, Glory of the Leopard.
Thank you, Clay. Thank you, Killer Nashville. We know that words have power, right? 6 years ago, someone I love lost the ability to communicate. And it's taken a long time. And he has now has the ability to use my iPad to finally communicate. So a year ago, after 5 years, finally got to hear the word Papa. Words have power. Thank you very much.
When I first read her book, it was action on every page, and we'll have more right now. Please recognize our guest of honor, Cindy Dees.
Hi. I think I've said everything smart that I know how to say, so I don't know. This is my first time at Killer Nashville. And I have to tell you, I have in the course of 4 hours today discussed Russian oligarchs and money laundering, Matahari, cults, that was very interesting, fishmonger turned spy, there you are, John, I have to tell you guys, I found my tribe, and I don't say that lightly. I've been in this industry 23 years. I have been to romance writer conventions. I've been to other thriller writer conventions. I've been to fantasy and sci-fi conventions. This is home, and I'm really grateful to have found all of you. So, but I want to talk to you just for a minute about success. And everybody needs to measure success by your own measurement. It's a very personal thing. You'll set your own goals, you'll meet them or fail to meet them and change them through your career. By most people's standards of success, I'm there. I started my career standing at the foot of a mountain. We were talking tonight about dinner how when I turned in my second manuscript, I was told I could keep the names of the characters and the rest had to go. So we all start down at the bottom of that mountain, and then over the years, there came awards, there came continuities, there came bestseller lists. Recently, of course, as a lot of you know, television and film have happened, the money has happened, people are starting to know who I am, so although I wouldn't claim to be famous, I'm afraid that's going to happen, and it's horrifying. And so a lot of people look at me and think, oh, you're standing at the top of the mountain of success. And so I thought I would give you guys a sneak peek over what's on the other side of that mountain, because I am on the top of that mountain. I can see over the other side now. And what's on the other side is the foot of another mountain. And I am now standing at the foot of the mountain in the TV and film industry, and I'm having to learn screenwriting and new contract terms and how to manage my social media and how not to stick my foot in my mouth and how to protect my privacy going forward. And the book that I wrote after I sold Second Shot, which I think is on one of your bags, took me 3.5 years to write. I am a 7 to 8 book a year writer, folks. I write 5,000 to 7,000 words a day without bat and eyelash, and it took me 3.5 years to get through one book. It was not imposter syndrome. I don't have imposter syndrome. I've been working at this a very long time. I know story. It wasn't fear. It wasn't writer's block. And it took me a long time to figure out what it was pressure. That the new mountain that I'm getting ready to climb has producers and directors and investors and actors and editors that I've never heard of before because they're way above my pay grade, and publishers who now read my book before their company buys it. And it absolutely paralyzed me. And I felt the weight of all these people sitting over my shoulder when I wrote, and it absolutely froze me. I started the sequel to Second Shot 3 different times. I scrapped 40,000 words each time. I took 5 different stabs at plotting it. I am a plotter. It was a nightmare, and even when I turned it in, I was sure it was a terrible book. And I'm sharing that with you because I hope everybody in this room, no matter what mountain you're climbing, has had that experience. Because writing never changes. If you are contemplating writing your first book and have never put a word on the page, or you're an old hooker like me that's written 100 books and has every success by every measure that a writer can have, writing never changes. If you don't like getting up in the morning and slogging to wherever you get your caffeine from and sitting down and taking a deep breath and staring at a blank page and trying to create words, get out of this business now, because that will always be what this business is. It never changes. That what I do today at the top of my career and what somebody does at the very beginning and what everybody else does in the middle is identical. And because of that, success, I would pose to you, has nothing to do with the bells and whistles. That is all, okay, it was nice that they paid off my house, yay. And I mean, and I don't say that lightly, it is fabulous to actually achieve some financial success after 20 some odd years. But success is writing craft. Success is deleting something and trying again. Success is losing the joy in writing, and it takes a while, and you find it again, and you start again. Success is enjoying what you do. Success is telling a story, because if you didn't tell it, you would slowly lose your mind, and the characters would actually become real, and you would actually speak to them, and you would end up in a rubber room. And so as you go forward in your careers, it's really important to keep perspective on what this is. We are storytellers, and that is what we do. And I apologize to the table I sat with tonight because I already told them this story. The very first fan letter I ever got was in very spidery, elderly lady handwriting on the letterhead of the principal of a high school in Washington State. It wasn't the same name as the name on the letter. And as I started to read the letter, there were wildfires in Washington that summer, and she said, I'm 87 years old, and my husband and I and our cat got out of our house with the clothes on our backs, and we have nothing else. We have no wallets, we have no identification, we have nothing. Our car was burned up. And a fire truck picked us up, and we're now living in the gymnasium of a high school, and we're fighting with insurance companies. We don't think we're gonna have enough money to rebuild our house. We don't know where we're gonna go. We're both approaching 90. And somebody yesterday brought in a grocery bag of books to the gymnasium whose floor I am sleeping on a hard mattress. And I randomly reached into it and I picked out your book, and I just wanted to write you a letter. Thank you for 6 hours of relief from my nightmare. That's what being a writer is, guys. Don't ever lose that. That's what this is about. And I'm sorry it makes me so emotional, but that's my career. And You write for your readers, you write for yourself, you write because you have to. And that's what success is. All the rest of it's worthless, okay? So go forth and write your stories and share them because people need them. Thank you.
The 2023 Killer Nashville Silver Falchion Award for Best Mystery goes to Rich Zarandit, The Pump Records.
Wow. Thank you, Clay. Thank you all the judges. That's a ton of reading. Thank you, Killer Nashville. This is going to be the subplot to Baron's talk. I got to my first Killer Nashville with my second novel out in 2014. I was on my first panel as a novelist at Killer Nashville. The topic was journalists as protagonists. It was me, Deb Gaskill, and Dick Belsky. I might make a joke about Dick because he's not here, but I'm not going to do that. And the moderator was Baron. Okay. So that's 4 people. There were 3 people in the audience. We had the best panel I've ever been on, I think. We had the best, and Baron kept apologizing, I don't know anything about journalism, he's asking these great questions, and me, kind of a middle-level business journalist, Dick, the tabloid guy, and Deb, the sort of more rural Iowa, or whatever square state it is, kind of journalist. We're bouncing all this, and I said that this is the subplot. That was the beginning of my tribe. I also, and this is going to sound like a cult or something, but I also found my tribe here because I've been coming every year since, and it's gotten bigger. There's more people at that table I know, and you know, tribe is friends, tribe is people to speak to, but 2 of the people in my Killer Nashville tribe beta read this book, and I wouldn't have even dared ask them 4 years earlier to, you know, look at a chapter. Several of them did reviews for the back of the book. More have done things online for it. It all came from coming here. I know I'm giving a commercial because I just got an award in journalism that's called conflict of interest. But I am telling you, it started in that room. The tribe began there, and this is truly amazing because I've watched people like Bruce. And Baron has got 48 silver falchions at this point, win this award. It is a big deal. And now, pro tip, because I've finally got mine, so I can give this tip away. We've known this secret for 5 years. We have data to prove it. If you are ever nominated, if you want to win, you got to sit at Baron's table. I'm telling you, it's happened before. It will happen again. We're going to start selling tickets. Thank you very much.
Killer Nashville Claymore Award for Best Mystery, Andy Haupt, The Cottage.
I wasn't planning to speak either, so they don't worry about these things. Thank you guys so much. This means the world to me. I really appreciate, where's your 70 Ds? Thank you. I really appreciate the point of the process doesn't change, because that's what I learned. And learning to write, it's like, wow, you just sit down and you make words into sentences, and then you make paragraphs, and then you make pages, and then you trash them, and you start again. So this means a lot. This is a lot of hours of work. I want to say thanks to my husband, who means the world to me, and I couldn't do it without him. So thank you so much.
say that I don't look at the awards ahead of time because I see many of you and I talk to many of you, and I sometimes fear if I ever know that I'm going to give something away, and I don't want to do that, so I just don't want to know until now. And if I had scrolled farther, I would have seen that this was a tie, that there's also a Killer Nashville Claymore Award for Best Mystery. The judges gave equal scores also to Lynn Tavener, Long Way Home.
Wow. Holy good God, I didn't expect this, but thank you everyone, and thank you Clay, and thank you for the Equal Award. Appreciate it.
The 2023 Killer Nashville Silver Falchion Award for Best Nonfiction goes to Frank Runeless, Lies People Tell, an FBI agent's toolkit for catching liars and cheats.
Man, I'm glad I put pants on. I was going to wear shorts because I didn't think I had a chance. Geez, I don't know what to say. Thank you. This is far more than I ever imagined. And, geez, I like what I've joined the tribe too. So thank you. Thank you. And thank you guys for just the words of wisdom you give. When you say something that it may be a throwaway line, but you never know. As they say with kids, they catch more is what's caught and not taught. You know what I mean? It's the throwaway lines that make all the difference. So just remember that. Thank you.
Lynn, your award is currently on its way to you. The 2023 Killer Nashville Claymore Award for Best Nonfiction goes to John Lamb, Service with a Sneer, a street cop's memoir. I was notified by John that he was not able to be here tonight, and John, I hope you're watching, and congratulations to you. Our next presenter I've known for some time, and every year almost I think it's a surprise to me when I put the registration up online for the next year. How long is it going to be for Jane B. Lee to find it? And I sit there sometimes and it's like 2 hours. There it is, there it is. Would you please welcome, talking about overcoming perceptions, Jane B. Lee.
Bringing me up here and having, the reason you did it is because you know I can't quit talking. So if I quit talking, just don't slap me, just tap me. But if I try to throw you away, then you have to come slap me. And if I try to run away from Mike, you're gonna have to tackle me. As most of you already know, I'm a very out there transgender woman. I started my change in life in 1955. I began living totally as a woman in 1995. Not 65, 95. It was a very difficult time to be a transgender woman. And I didn't know how to do it very well. I mean, I wore old ladies' clothes, I had old ladies' hair. I tried everything to keep people from recognizing me as being male. ever. So I did that for like 10 years. I dressed like an old lady, I had old lady hair, I did everything to keep out of everybody's sight. It didn't work. I mean, I had all kinds of things happening there, you know, everything from people trying to kick me in things I don't have anymore, and it was kind of an interesting time, really. And I had to really wanted to overcome the perceptions, and it was very, very difficult. Until about 2005. In 2005, the world had started to change. Partly changed for me because I was taking hormone replacement therapy by this time. And it started to change me physically. And then by 2000, and so it was a lot better. People still knew I was trans, but they weren't very outgoing about that. I wasn't being condemned like I had been for the previous 10 years. So I was out there enjoying life and everything, and they still saw me as a male. And it was really disappointing to me to have that happen. So, so by 2011, I started my surgeries and stuff. So by now, I am fully female. I mean, everything I have, I paid for. So yeah, I had a great time with that too, and I took a lot of therapy classes and with people trying to teach me how to enjoy myself and things like that. So that was part of the journey, was doing that. And a lot of psychiatrists and people tell me I'm crazy. Well, they knew that already, but it wasn't a big deal for me. So so then, as I overcame these burdens of life, of people recognizing me, even though I had started doing all of my operations and everything, so basically from the top of my head to the middle of my legs. So it was all covered. It was all done. So so then I started opening up as being trans. When I didn't have to be trans anymore, I opened up to be trans and to show everybody that. And then I started supporting my community. And a lot of the transgender people, and it wasn't just them. I mean, the way I write is I sit in a bar, have a drink and write with my books on the front of me in the bar. So I try to sell a book to pay for my bar bill. But I learned a lot about the people who were reading my books just by sitting at the bar. Because they're looking at the books, and all my books are LGBT. Matter of fact, I have a girlfriend, I'm also a lesbian, so everything worked out fine. But what I started to do was become more feminine. I started dressing more feminine, I started going out. I grew my hair long, I started doing other things that was more feminine. And this time, I was saying, yes, I'm transgender. Yes, I'm a lesbian. No problem. And so let me come speak at your university, and then they paid me $2,000. So and I work for free, that's cheap, so so I do that sort of thing, it's kind of fun. So that's basically the way I've lived my life. And now, I'm out there, this is me. And I want to thank all of the people here for being so accepting of me. This has been a wonderful trip. Love you all.
Thanks, Jane. You got your tribe. 2023 Pure Nashville Silver Falchion Award for Best Sci-Fi Fantasy goes to Brian Johnston, Death Warrant. I know you're not Brian Johnston.
Brian wants to thank everyone. He's sorry he can't be here, but on behalf of him
For Camcat Publishing, his publisher, I will accept this on his behalf.
The 2023 Killer Nashville Claymore Award for Best Sci-Fi Fantasy goes to J.S. Morrison, The Pieces of Myself.
Whoa, totally unexpected. Thank you, Clay. Thank you, the whole team, for Killer Nashville. I'll make this really short. Monty Python once said, it's not just knowing the words, it's getting them in the right order. So I'd like to thank my wife for helping me get them in the right order. Thank you very much.
Okay, that's the award for Best Short Story Collection Anthology, and this is the first time stories have been put collectively into one edition in that particular order, and the 2023 Killer Nashville Silver Falchion Award for Best Short Story Collection or Anthology goes to Lindy Ryan, Into the Forest, Tales of the Baba Yaga.
Lenny couldn't be here tonight, so I'm going to say something on her behalf. Thank you to Clay Stafford and the Silver Falchion judges for supporting women in horror and honoring Into the Forest with this award. And thank you to my aides, Italian Gandolfo and Renee Fountain, for accepting on my behalf. I didn't seek out Baba Yaga, she found me instead. And a storybook brought by my stepmother's homeland when she immigrated to the U.S. Not your usual bedtime story. I shun sanitized children's fairy tales in favor of this forest witch. The stories in this anthology were penned by women from around the world who came together, much like Baba does for those she deems worthy, not to hinder, not to help, but to heal, and often in ways we don't expect. This anthology and the women who contributed have become a sisterhood. Thank you to our contributors, to our readers, and to the women who create Tempest with their voices, unafraid to venture into the forest. Thank you.
The 2023 Killer Nashville Claymore Award for Best Short Story Collection Anthology goes to Robert Mangio, Parts of the Problem.
So back. But I think this is it. So I think you're done with the end. So short story people who's out there, you can do a lot of cool things in short form too, so I just want to get that on the record. But I will also admit that 10 years ago I didn't write a read. I only started on it as an exercise just to teach myself storytelling. You could do it really quickly. And it turned out, I guess, the right thing for me to do, because here I am. Killer Nashville has been just a big part of that journey. So thank you very much.
Giving some great advice in saying just tell the story. Please welcome John Corrinan.
Well, it's good to be here. Clay emailed me a while back and said, I'd like to give you 60 minutes at the dinner. Oh, 6 minutes at the dinner. I said, okay, I'll be happy to give it a shot. Wait on it. Quite a highway of talent tonight. You're just brilliant people. And here I am, just a little rustic, right this spot off the road, rest stop. So I wanted to think it's probably things differently. One thing, of all the venues you've attended while you've been here, and speeches you've heard, and panels you've been involved in, and meetings with agents and editors, there's a common theme throughout the whole thing. And it's a cardinal rule for writers of fiction. And this is a fill-in question. You don't kill the dog. Yeah. You don't kill the dog. You lose your audience. You also don't kill Clay Stafford. That's obvious. There's no killer in Nashville without Clay. I'm going to talk a little bit about different things related to writing. My necktie, for example, is related to writing. Some of you who are close to me in line looked at it and said, oh, some of you knew who was in the painting. And it's The Scream. How many of you are familiar with The Scream? Edward Vogt, Norwegian painter. Shows a person in agony. It's all reds and oranges. It looks like they're on a bridge and they're just in despair and feeling terrible. It's called The Scream, but a lot of people don't know that the person who was the subject for that was a writer who just got his first rejection. So, when you come to Killer Nashville, you get stuff that wasn't in the brochure, okay? It's little nuggets of fun that prove that we're all lifelong learners. I also want to talk about different writers' rejection. A couple, 3 Killer Nashvilles ago, David Morrell of Rambo fame was here. And he gave a master's class, and I signed up for it. And he was a brilliant presenter. He was a great college American literature professor. And after he gave his presentation, he said, "Are there any questions?" And then, as a woman, he rose up and he managed to slip out the side and continue with his conference. He never had a rejection. Now, maybe some of you writers have never had a rejection. That's just really great. Don't tell me how you really. But you say, I never had a rejection. I don't know how to handle rejection. I do. I whimper. Just tell the story. Never quit. Bruce was talking a couple of days ago in the morning about James Lee Burke, brilliant writer, maybe the best fiction writer in the country today. I'm a great fan of his. And about, you're probably familiar with the story that he sold his first novel at 23. He sold a couple more, but he said it didn't sell. He said he couldn't sell Ice Water Vacation. No progress with the financial part. Wrote another novel. Let me see the name, I get it straight. The Lost Get Back Boogie. I'd publish that just for the title. 111 rejections. I didn't know there were 111 places you could send it. I might need a few more just to stock up. 111 rejections. Every time he got a rejection on his novel, his wife would say, James, send it back out. James, send it back out. 112 won the Pulitzer Prize. Louisiana State University Press published it, and who knows the rest about James Lee Burke. So that's one way to handle rejection, is to keep at it, never quit. Some of you have spoken about that tonight. I hate to have my name involved with David Morrell and James Lee Burke, but I'm going to go ahead and do it. Talk a little bit about a couple of my experiences about never quit.
Sir, can you speak into the microphone?
I will try. When I was getting ready to go to grad school at the University of Iowa, my wife and I were in Iowa City, I really wanted to get into the Iowa Writers Workshop because I thought and I'd heard if you get into the workshop, you get an advanced degree, you get a leg up, you get a good chance of being published and so on, and a great career is waiting for you.
So I applied for the Iowa Writers Workshop, sent them a sample of my writing, and a couple of days later, they said, we don't want you. And I calmly accepted that, of course, right? You know, I had a temper tantrum, I kicked things, I looked for dogs to kick, couldn't find any. Just pouted and sulked. And then a strange thing happened. My wife was, met this woman accidentally at a community garden, and she didn't know the lady, and the lady said, you want to pick beans with me? Well, if you know my wife, she loves gardens. So we're picking beans together, they're having a conversation. She was telling this lady how disappointed her husband was that he didn't get in the workshop. Well, we found out later that this lady was best friends with the director of the Iowa Writers Workshop. And the next thing I know is that the director took a look at my application and said, get him in here. What had happened was the grad students who decided who got in had decided I wrote too much like Hemingway. What in the world? I don't think I do, but that was quite a shock. The other shock on the rejection and learning to overcome, I wrote a story a long time ago about boys in a small town in Iowa who were trying to get a baseball for their games. They were 10 and 11-year-olds. And the town had a minor league baseball stadium that operated on a shoestring. And if there was a foul ball hit out of the stadium, they hired guys called shankers, who were high school dropouts and hobos, who would get the ball and return it so they could use it without having to spend for a new baseball. The trouble was that the shankers would get paid like 50 cents for each ball they returned, but we wanted to get a ball for our game, so we devised a plan to have an relay for the first 10 or 11-year-old friend of mine would get to the ball, throw it to the next and the next, and then to a kid on a bicycle, and he'd ride off, and we'd have a baseball for the summer. We had an election, I got elected to be the first guy. And so I got out, there was a foul ball, I came up through the arc lights into the parking lot, and went under a car, and I got it first, and I got out to throw it, and the guy smacked me upside the head, and I threw it at the same time. My friend got it, the next one got it, the fourth guy got it on his bike, rode off into the night, and we had a baseball for the rest of the summer. Well, I thought it was a good story. It was Americana, it was a true story. Kids, baseball, the Midwest, you know, how could it fail? So I sent it to Sports Illustrated. A couple of weeks later, they wrote back, said we don't want it, essentially, is what they said. Well, I had another hissy fit, I got mad, I threw it in a closet, slammed the door. All right, I won't write anymore. I'll deprive the country of another Steinbeck, and I'll just so good. I'll show them. Well, my long-suffering wife came through again. She said, John, why didn't you send it to Reader's Digest? I said, what? This is sports. This isn't humor in uniform. Come on. And she said, okay, fine. So I waited a while, stewing, sent it off to Reader's Digest. And a couple of weeks later, the letter comes to them. And they said, we'd like to buy your story. And there was a nice check, even by today's standards, there was a nice check. And so we celebrated lavishly. We went down to a pub that didn't have any windows, had free popcorn if you bought a pitcher. We were rolling grass food. Well, I thought this was pretty easy. And the next thing I know, about 2 weeks later, I get another check and letter from them, and they said, well, we're going to publish this as a first person award since it's a first person story. It's another check, not as big, but more a celebration. I thought, this is easy. I just send off Reader's Digest every month. We can just retire. Well, that didn't happen either. But I did learn to keep trying a second time and a third time. Let's see. Well, again, I talk about never quitting my many rejections. If you want to get better, this is the place to be. You've heard those speeches before me. You encourage people here. You learn skills here. I also encourage you to, in addition to come to Nashville, get involved in critique groups where you live. And I mean useful critique groups that will encourage you, give you honest feedback. It's gentle but needed, and continue to try to get better. So I encourage that. Think about writing being tough and it's lonely, but we need to also realize that it's fun. It's fun to write. It's fun to write something and they feel like it's pretty good, and you shut down for the day. You get up the next morning And it's not as bad as you thought. You were expected to have to rewrite the whole thing, and it's something you did well. That's fun. Doesn't happen enough, but it does happen. But we tell stories, we make people laugh at the words, we make people cry with our words, we make them escape with our words, and sometimes we comfort people with our words. So what I'd like to have you do is, I'm going to try to get you out of your chairs for just a minute. Clay said there's going to be a clay, what's that, polka dance, square dance afterwards. So you know, no, I'm kidding. But I would like to have you stand, if you're a writer, and say these words. We are writers. You can do it. You gotta start moving the blood. Go ahead. We are writers. We are writers. We are not farmers, we are writers. Thank you.
I can only imagine the class at your university, John. The 2023 Cure Nashville Silver Falchion Award for Best Southern Gothic goes to Alexandria Weiss and Lucas Astor for River of Ashes.
Hi, I'm getting performance critiques from back home that I'm not speaking into the microphone, so I'm going to try to do better. I apologize to Alexandra that I didn't wear my glasses either, so hopefully I get her words right. Lucas and I are so sorry we can't be there tonight to accept this award in person. It is such an honor to be recognized by Clay Stafford, the Killer Nashville organization, and the Silver Falchion judges. Thank you to my agent, Italian Gandolfo, and to Renee Fountain for accepting on our behalf. None of this would have been possible without my cohort in all things psychotic, Lucas Astor. I'm also deeply grateful to L.K. Griffey and the Studium Books for believing in the St. Benedict series, and to the wonderful Sam Sheeran for our fantastic cover. It means the world to any writer to know all the blood, sweat, and tears you have poured into a book resonates with the audience. Thank you to everyone who has read and supported River of Ashes. Thank you.
2023 Killer Nashville Claymore Award for Best Southern Gothic goes to Lee M. Hall, The Chambermaids.
Tears from the award. It's still from Cindy's letter story. Thank you so much. I want to thank my husband for his continued support and sponsorship. And I want to thank Lanessa, my friend Lanessa, AJ, and Kirsten for encouraging me to come here this year. Thank you guys.
2023 Killer Nashville Silver Falchion Award for Best Supernatural goes to Jennifer McMahon, The Children on the Hill. If Jennifer is not here, Jennifer, I hope you're watching at home. Congratulations to you. 2023 Killer Nashville Claymore Award for Best Supernatural is a tie. Maria Ostrowski, my apologies, The Bones of Hope, and Darren Workmeister, both.
Thank you all so much. Thank you, Clay Stafford. Thank you to all the judges. I want to thank my husband for his support all these years, my entire writing life, my incredible family, and congratulations to everyone, to all the finalists, and thank you for a wonderful evening.
conference, and it's been fantastic. Thanks to everyone.
The 2023 Killer Nashville Reader's Choice Award, which was voted on by people on the web, goes to Geneva Rose, One of Us is Dead. And Geneva is not here, so congratulations. And speaking of, I just want her to tell her story. Would you please welcome one of our agents this year, Kathleen Fox, talking about not giving up.
Thank you, Clay, for that introduction and the opportunity to be here at Killer Nashville. This is the first time that I've been here, and it's been such an incredible experience getting to know many of you. And I think it's magnificent what you and your team do here for writers every year. So there are 3 words that are often heard, and sometimes people think they're a little overused, but I don't think so, because never give up is honestly the difference between those who are successful and those who are not. And there are 3 words that go with that: patience, persistence, and perseverance. Being a writer myself as well in my spare time, I understand what it feels like to create something that I love so much and that I'm proud of. And then you go and get feedback on it, and then it gets torn down. And so you're kind of going on this roller coaster. You get the feedback, you revise it, you build yourself back up again, and you get more feedback, and you go back down again. And it's hard. We've all been there. Like I said, it's quite a roller coaster, but we do keep going, and eventually it does improve, and it does become better. And when you finally enter those query trenches, it's another milestone met. Every small step that you take is a little bit closer to the goal of being published. Every no that you get is not personal, it's a step to getting that yes. And you always need to keep that dream alive, but if you don't practice those 3 essential things, you're never going to get there, and you're essentially letting that dream go. And I think you're all here at this conference because you're taking yourself seriously, and I think that's absolutely wonderful. A good friend of mine recently gave some advice to someone, but it's also something that I've done in other circumstances. When you start to query, write yourself a letter. Tell yourself how excited you are. Tell yourself how scared you are. Remind yourself of your hopes and dreams and your aspirations. Write down the reasons that you're doing this. Give yourself a pep talk. So that further down the line, after you've received tons of rejections, and you will, that's just part of the process, you can reignite that spark so that you don't forget what it feels like to have that passion. And it's like excitement coursing through your veins. Future you will thank you for doing this, because sometimes we need to revisit that in order to keep going. When I was asked to give this speech, my initial thought was, oh my gosh, I didn't think I could give a speech. But then I reminded myself, as a writer, well, first of all, how many of you have ever thought things like, I never thought I could write a book? I didn't think I could write a book, but I did. I never thought I could get to the querying stage, but I did. I never saw myself putting my work up there because I didn't know if it was good enough. Imposter syndrome, right? We all have that. We all get that at times. And I'll tell you a secret, it does not go away. We just get better at dealing with it. And we can do anything that we put our minds to, if we are patient, if we persist, if we persevere. And you're all here now because you're showing up for yourself. You might be really nervous. I'm a little nervous up here. But you're believing in yourself. You're taking that step to get your work out there, to learn, to connect with others. Making those connections, making writer friends, is probably the most important thing you can do, because those are going to be your people. Connect with people online, connect with people in person. It's so easy to do these days, and these are the folks that are going to build you up when you need it the most. These are the people that are going to give you the feedback. They're going to elevate you and your writing. They're going to cheer you on along the way. And when you feel like you've only got about 20% of yourself to give to your writing, they're going to give you that 80%. And you're going to do it for them as well. And I found that the writing community as a whole, generally speaking, is a very warm and welcoming community, very positive space. And don't be afraid to reach out, because chances are you're going to meet people that are in exactly the same position that you're in, or they've been there, and they can give you that advice. And it feels better to know that you're not alone. It's not easy, but I do encourage you to push yourself, even when you think it's really tough to do. I pushed myself in many things that I didn't know that I could do. And I'm nothing if I'm not determined, and I think all of you here are determined as well. Every once in a while I look back and I remind myself of all the things that I didn't think I could do, and here I am. And I'm here today because I didn't give up. I took the opportunities that were presented to me, and if I needed one and there wasn't one, I would make one. And every one of you can do the same thing if you're patient, if you persist, if you persevere. So for those of you who are new writers, give yourself a pat on the back for being here, for showing up for yourself, for working hard to accomplish your goals, and engaging with other writers, putting your stuff out there, as scary as it can be, and for taking yourself seriously. Give yourself credit that you deserve. And for those of you who are seasoned writers, and you've been here many times before, or maybe this is your first time, thank you for being here to offer your guidance and your support, and your encouragement for the next generation of writers, and for being the shining examples of never giving up. Thank you.
The 2023 Kill Nashville Silver Falchion Award for Best Suspense goes to Lanessa Lane, Target Acquired.
Hopefully y'all can hear me. Just thank you. Like, I'm so stunned right now and so happy. And my husband joked on the way here that maybe because I'll be like that Susan Lucci of the Silver Falchion. So this proved him wrong. Thank you.
Killer Nashville Claymore Award for Best Suspense goes to Cynthia Rice, The Last Broken Girl.
Killer Nashville and Clay. Thank you.
And I want to again thank 400 judges out there. I really appreciate your help and support for all these people here. When I first moved to Nashville almost 30 years ago, I stumbled upon a party at a house with John Siegenthaler, whom I really didn't know who John Siegenthaler was at the time. John Siegenthaler was a well-known editor, publisher, writer, TV personality, First Amendment champion, advocate for writers, and he became a long-time supporter for Killer Nashville when we started. He believed what we did. And after his death, his son, John Jr., said that we could give an award honoring John Siegenthaler. Like its namesake, the annual Kill Nashville John Siegenthaler's Legends Award is bestowed on an individual within the publishing industry who has championed First Amendment rights to ensure that all opinions are given a voice, has exemplified mentorship and example to others, supporting new voices of tomorrow, and or has written an influential canon of work that will continue to influence authors for many years to come. And I can't think of anybody more qualified of that definition than Maureen Corrigan. She, through her efforts, and we've already talked about her wonderful, wonderful work that she does and has done for many, many years. She has championed First Amendment rights. She has promoted the opinions of all people. She has exemplified mentorship to her students at Georgetown, and she has supported the voices of tomorrow, and she has written through her reviews and sharing her love of writing with others. She has influenced authors for years to come. Would you please congratulate Maureen Corrigan.
Thank you so much, Clay. I'm so touched, I'm so honored to receive this award, especially given that it bears the name and the legacy, wow, of a man who was such a fierce advocate for First Amendment rights. I really am grateful to all of you. Clay asked me today when we were having our conversation what I look for in a book. And I talked a bit about authenticity as being something key to what I'm searching for in a voice, in a situation, in a plot. But I could have answered that question a different way. I think about a scene from The Maltese Falcon a lot. Sam Spade is talking to the femme fatale Bridget O'Shaughnessy, and he's recalling an old case that he worked on, where a man named Flitcraft disappeared from his family, and Spade found him years later living in a different city, but living essentially the same life he had left. He was remarried, he was working at the same sort of job, and Spade asked him, what happened? And Flitcraft tells a whole story about a beam falling in front of him as he's walking by a construction site. And Flitcraft says that he felt as though someone had taken the lid off life and let him look at the works. And Spade really likes that line. Someone had taken the lid off life and let him look at the works. Flitcraft changes his whole way of being for a while in consequence of that moment. I feel like I'm always looking for that book that takes the lid off life and lets me look at the works. And once in a while I find it. And my hope, and really my belief is that some of you have those stories that you want to share with me and with other readers. I sure hope so. Thank you so much for this award. It's been a pleasure.
Kilmer Nashville Silver Falchion Award for Best Thriller goes to Geneva Rose, One of Us is Dead. Congratulations, Geneva. The Kilmer Nashville Claymore Award for Best Thriller goes to Christopher I. Riley El Chancho.
I'm speechless. I'm speechless. I thank my wife and family for giving me hours at the computer undisturbed. It was my first conference. I definitely have imposter syndrome. Hopefully this will relieve that. But thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Best Silver Falchion Award for Best Western goes to Terrence McCauley, Blood on the Trail.
Over at the table, David Darling just told me I better make this short and sweet because I'm cutting into his drinking time. So, but anyway, no, I really appreciate all of the efforts that the organizers put into this, the volunteers put into it. I know putting these kinds of things on is not easy, and I really appreciate the effort that you've all done for it. Thank you to the judges who took the time to vote for me, and particularly thank you to my wife and my family for being supportive of me in all of my creative efforts. A lot has been said tonight about sticking to it and not giving up. I have a sign over my desk that says, "The early bird may get the worm, but it's the second mouse who gets the cheese." So it's not just about working hard, it's about working smart. And I'm grateful for somebody who has an accent like mine to win an award like this. And thank you for supporting Westerns, because it's a really great job with your support. Thank you very much.
Killer Nashville Claymore Award for Best Western goes to Mary Ben Dixon, A Brilliantly Scathing Life.
Can you tell I did not expect this? Thank you. Thank you, judges. Thank you, Killer Nashville. Thanks to my husband, who I think is watching tonight. Thanks to my granddaughter who helped me come here. It's been a wonderful experience. I cannot believe this. Thank you.
And last, we're going to leave with some advice from Les Edgerton that you can take to the bank.
Thank you, Clay. This is my first Killer Nashville too, and I had no idea I was going to win. I wasn't prepared, and I want to take time. He told me I had an hour and 10 minutes, so I'm not going to use all of it, don't worry. But I want to thank Clay. He's the reason I'm here. I got notified that I was a finalist for this award, and then I sent him a thank you note. I'd never met him or been here. I knew about him. Everybody knows about him. And he made it possible for me to get here. So I owe him a huge debt, because I'm not going to be able to make any more of these things, so you can cry it out, send me money. But thanks to the readers and the judges, because they do a hell of a job. I've done that, and it's thankless a lot of times, but you guys do wonderful work. You really do. Thank you. I'm going to talk tonight. I want to give you some advice, maybe underwriters, and things that you can take to the bank and make money in writing. And I'm going to tell you two things. The second one is the most important, and that you should take notes on, because it could mean millions of dollars, literally. But the first tip I want to give you, and some people agree with this, some people don't, but whatever. We're all kind of taught, either by osmosis or teachers actually teaching us where to end chapters. And usually they teach us to end us where a scene ends. Well, you need to look at who your readers are and why they read and when they read. A lot of readers read at night to get sleepy to go to bed. If you give them an opportunity to put the book down, they will. So I would never end the scene there. I would always wait till into the next chapter. And that's something they don't teach you a lot of times, but it makes sense, doesn't it? One of my students is a brilliant writer, and her agent told her, no, don't do that. She's very old school, and she thought that was manipulating the reader. I don't know what else we do but manipulate readers. I really don't. And so, and my agent, who's a better agent than hers, says, no, it's bullshit. So, but she had said, I'm replying. I'm an ex-con, a lot of you guys know that.
And if you don't, you do now, but you can invite me to your house now and don't have to count the silverware when I leave. Plus, I'm too old and frail to do anything. The other piece of advice is one you should take notes on. Some of you may know this, but I guarantee you most of you don't. Does anybody really know what the most lucrative form of writing is? And I mean lucrative. I'm talking millions, even billions of dollars that's going untapped. What? He got it right. So, it's kidnap notes. You don't even have to spell, you write and create, it's 1 or 2 sentences. And I'm literally billions of dollars at stake. So, anyway, y'all been great. I'm coming back here again if I can drag my sorry body here. So, see you in church.
There's only one less. Now comes the time when we give the second runner-up and first runner-up, and then the winner total in each Silver Falchion and Claymore. The 2023 Cure Nashville Silver Falchion Award second runner-up for Best Cook of 2022 goes to Rich. I always mess up your name. Zab. You'll have to Zab right, yeah. Don't right.
Never been pronounced correctly. Yeah, this is all the writers in all the categories, and to get this honor, this is. I wasn't thinking about this tonight. You heard about sticking to it. So this manuscript that became the Bone Records. Before I started querying, and this is my 5th book, I had a traditional deal, so I knew how much fun it was all going to be. I put on my desk that stat, James Lee Burke rejected 111 times. And I had a couple manuscripts, 3 manuscripts maybe, rejected after the 4-book traditionally published series came out. So I was, I'd been through it, I understood it even getting the first agent. But you're not supposed to say this, but I really love the Bone Records. The other 3 that were rejected, they were. 2 of them need work and 1 needs to be thrown away. But I like the idea. I put a lot of work into it, and so I was going after it. And I got to about halfway to 111, realizing, oh crap, this could. And I was getting, the not a fit for my list, not a fit for my list. The market conditions aren't like not a fit for my list. And I was used to that already. And so I took it, and you're not supposed to do this. No one's going to read my book in this room when they hear this. But I went not to 112, I went to 113 rejections. And then I decided, because we live in a different world, he could go to Louisiana State to become a hybrid author and put the book out independently, in spite of those 113, 14 opinions. And so now it's the best mystery and the second best book here, which I can't even believe. So you really do need to stick with it. I'm still 2 years later getting rejection notes. You send out 114, that's anything. I'd say to the agents, if you can't read the 5 pages in 2 years, don't send a rejection. And after that, that's a little late. But thank you, everyone. This is really amazing.
The 2023 Killer National Claymore Award second runner-up for Best Unpublished Manuscript goes to Lucinda Gerlitz, The Chess Player.
I am terminally shy. And my goal for this trip was to be able to have lunch with all of you people without being terrified. And now this.
The 2023 Killer Nashville Silver Falchion Award. First runner-up, Best Book of 2022, and I think this is the first time that this has ever happened. It's a nonfiction, Frank Runeless, Lies People Tell.
Yeah, I'm not a crier, but I'll tell you, I'm about ready to. Wow, I don't know what to say. I wrote this book on a whim when I was living overseas for a year in Abu Dhabi, and it was 140 degrees outside, so I thought, well, maybe I'll write. And I slogged through it, and I got done with it, and I brought it home, showed my wife. And it's like most spouses, she looks at it like, yeah, the trash needs to be taken out.
That's why
I thought, what the heck, and I thought, well, let me just do the self-publishing, because what's it gonna hurt? And I self-published it. It did well and sold well, but honestly, I never thought of this. So I'm eternally grateful. I'm in awe. Thank you, Clay. The check's in the mail, and I'll be able to wash your car tomorrow. So, thank you.
2023 Killer Nashville Claymore Award, first runner-up for Best Unpublished Manuscript, goes to Maria Ostrowski, The Bones of Hope.
Thank you again so much. I'm so incredibly grateful. And once again, I want to thank my husband for all of his support, and thank you all so much.
The 2023 Cure Nashville Silver Falchion Award for Best Book of 2022 is Lanessa Lane, Target Acquired.
Okay, all right, thank you so much. Thank you. Y'all should know, like, it was hell to get here today. I live in Alabama, so it wasn't that far of a drive, but when I say, like, my makeup bag got left at the last hotel and I didn't know until this morning. I am invisible without it, and it was devastating. That sounds ridiculous, but that's like my thing. And then my dress that I was supposed to wear was in the dryer still when we had to leave, and I was like, great, so I'll just pull this on. And then these stupid pantyhose keep like, I'm telling you, that sounds like nothing, but it's just been one thing after another. And then, so all these crazy things kept happening, and I thought, maybe I just shouldn't even go, maybe I'm not supposed to. But it always seems like when something wonderful is gonna happen, I always get this friction beforehand. And writing Target Acquired, tonight really made me think about that struggle that I had to get through that book. It was a very emotional book for me to write. And it took me 8 months. I know that doesn't sound like long to some of you, And to some of you, it sounds way too long, but for me, I'm a every 3 to 4 month kind of novelist, and this one just like felt like I could never get through this painful scene. And this just made all of the crying while I was writing so worth that extra suffering and pain to get it right. So thank you so much.
Now it comes to the 2023 Killer Nashville Claymore Award for Best Unpublished Manuscript. First 50 pages. Go ahead and bring out the award if you don't mind. It's one of my favorites. This is handmade here in Tennessee. You can't take this thing on the airplane. But I guess you can give it to an ex-con. Congratulations, Les Edgerton.
This man, okay, I'm not good for everybody. Just trying to shit my name. I didn't expect any of this. I'm so grateful. Clay is a wonderful, wonderful man. I couldn't be here for a lot of reasons, and he made it happen for me. So he's my new dad. I'm sorry I didn't run the nonsense, but now he's my dad. Thank you, Clay. Thank you, everybody. I didn't know this award existed, but now I got one. God, Derek, can you use this? It's a 7-Eleven right up the street.
Thank you all. Award shows run long. I've enjoyed being with you, and thank you for this weekend. You have made my year. Thank you. Good night. Before you go, hey, wait a second. Can you sit back down, please? I almost forgot something. You can't. Can I have my guests of honor come back up here? Maureen Corrigan, Catherine Lasky, Cindy Dees. Come on back up here. You cannot come to Nashville without a killer Nashville guitar.
Well, as I said on the way up here, you gotta pay me to get me there, so.
It is great for me to award a Nashville guitar to Maureen Corrigan. That's just great.
I don't have anything to say. I'm completely overwhelmed.
Sing something.
You had a huge heart. Thank you. And really, I feel it in the room. Thank you, Clay.
Now, good night.
Hold on. This man does it all, you know it. Please give Clay a big round of applause. Without Clay, there's nothing here. And also, Jacqueline and Sherry and George all have to be over here. Come on. He's too humble. dance, little brother.